好，我这样讲话可以听得见吗？可以啊。好，
可以。
品品，你的那个荧幕要稍微弄一点，不然都看到你的那个斑斑，还有鼻孔。
我会是唯一一个没有换荧幕的吗？我找不到那个，我没有办法换那个背景。
背景图我来放在我们的交流区好了。我记得我是有放的。
我有，可是我在这个上面的话，不晓得为什么它出不来，所以非常的抱歉。有关系吗？还是
没有关系，没有关系。
I'm sorry, I try.
Hello, good morning and good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to join us here, the virtual meeting of NGO CSW 66 Forum hosted by Taipei 101 Women Entrepreneurs Association. It's our honor today having 4 distinguished speakers who will share with us their topic of the role of female business leaders in sustainable development business goals through environmental protection campaign. Our journey today will start from now, and here are some reminders for our virtual meeting need your cooperation. Please mute yourself during the whole meeting, and if you have any questions or great idea you want to share with us, please kindly leave your message on chat board. We will have very limited time for questionnaire and answer, so we strongly recommend you. Please let us know your question and your thoughts on chat board, and leave your contacts. Our tech team will pass it to the speakers, and the speakers can reply to you after the meeting. I'm so excited and can't wait any longer. Now, let's welcome our moderator, Mei Lu, who is the charter president of Taipei 101 Women's Entrepreneurs Association, and she's also the vice president of Asia FCEM. Let's welcome Mei Lu. Mei, now the stage is all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the virtual panel hosted by Taipei 101 Women Entrepreneur Association. My name is Mei, Charter President of Taipei 101 Women Entrepreneur Association. Also, World Vice President of FCEM, a world-leading female organization for business women. Our topic today is the role of female business leaders in SDGs through environmental protection campaign. As we know, women are the drivers of change in their families, in communities and nations. If we didn't invest in their lives and future, we cannot assume the SDGs will succeed. Today, we will take a journey to the hearts and minds of these great women leaders from Italy, Australia, Taiwan, and learn about their unique perspectives and contributions to SDGs. Hopefully, in the following 1.5 hours, each of you will gain something from our panelists, be inspired as well. Now, I would like to give the floor to our co-moderator, Wendy. She is a rising star and young potential of Taipei 101 Women Entrepreneur Association. Wendy, please.
Thank you, May. Now we are going to have our first speaker today, Ms. Qingyu Yao. As we knew, New Taipei City leads Taiwan in publishing the SDGs VLR in 2090, but it's very amazing they done it again in year 2021. The New Taipei City government said it's impossible without Ms. Qingyu Yao. Today, she's going to share with us many exciting SDG stories with us. Ms. Qingyu Yao, the stage is now yours.
Thank you, Wendy. Good morning, good evening, good night to everyone. And thank you, Mei Lu, for inviting me to such a distinguished panel discussion. I think I'm the first one in this very important and meaningful panel list. And I'm also aware that I'm the only one from the government sectors. So I think to begin with our important discussion, I'm really excited to share with you why I think Sustainable Development Goals is bringing new opportunities for women leaders in both public policy shaping and in business opportunities. My name is Qingyu Yao. I'm the Director General of the Secretariat of the largest city in Taiwan with 4 million population, New Taipei. And to begin with, I believe Sustainable Development Goals is a fundamental paradigm shift for nations' development. And that shift will bring better public policy making and better business opportunities for women. It is the shift from hard powers to soft powers. The soft powers, such as genders, human rights, education, social well-being, used to be regarded as supportive and non-measurable. Now under SDGs have become critical and core. And also the well-beings of the next generations become equally important as ours under SDGs. Don't they all sound familiar? Because all these qualities come so naturally of women leaders. And we've done it for many, many generations already. Because women and Sustainable Development Goals are all about sustainability, diversity, and inclusiveness. And remember, just a few decades ago, women like us, we were still underprivileged groups. So the path we walk together towards gender equality can be served as an inspiration or even as a solution to many other groups that we can achieve SDGs all together today. I'm especially honored to begin Sustainable Development Goals. This journey, as Mei Lu said, we're all on a journey together today. I began this journey in 2015 when I was still working for the capital city of Taiwan. I led the very first Taipei's delegation to host its first CSW NGO workshop in New York. That's back in the days when we still could have the physical gatherings in New York. So I'm a witness as well as a participant to SDG movement. And during one of this meeting, as you can see the photo, I handed over CEDAW campaign MOU to Michelle Wu. At that time, she was the assembly speaker for Boston City government. Of course, now she has become mayor of Boston City. But I remember she always said to make Boston City a city for everyone. And I think that's a beautiful rephrase of SDGs, leaving no one behind. So leaders, especially leaders, are very important. And seizing the opportunity of SDGs, we will also seize opportunities for ourselves. And how about New Taipei? How about our cities? How about our mayors? Does he also support gender equality? Here is a short video. 时间上呢，有人在记吗？ We started the campaign.
Apologize to interrupt you, Ms. Jin Yu Yao. Please share your video with the audio. Please click the audio sharing. Thank you. 要麻烦就是
audio sharing.
就是麻烦您重新选择一下那个影片，然后在左下角有个地方要分享音讯，谢谢您。
谢谢。
Okay, I think our speaker need to set up a little bit the tech.
我们先往前。对。
Yeah, we're going to share again the video. It's amazing video. We look forward it. Okay, during the meantime, I'm going to interrupt the meeting. Apologize, I need to share with all the Taiwanese attendees. 请大家可以开那个中文字幕的部分。
联合国非女。
I apologize for the technical difficulties. I hope that the video was viewed. Okay?
Okay, please.
Super, super. Thank you for the patience. See, that's why we have women together. We support each other, even when we make mistakes. So as you can see in this very short video, New Taipei City started from our mayor. He called for a campaign for women power in 2019. For the past 3 years, we were trying to strike a balance to achieve at least 1/3 of the leadership in city government's mini cabinet to have 1/3 of women, and also to raise awareness in general in the city of those women leaders, their important contribution to our city. And that short video, our mayor, Mayor Hou You-yi, was in the video with all the female commissioners of our and heads of departments and agencies. And this is the group photo you can see. Out of 29 departments of agencies in New Taipei, there are 10 of the leaders are women, including myself, but also including some of the key departments like economy, cultural, youth, and human resources. But do you think this comes naturally? No, actually not. In Taiwan, we're still the only city government that has this 1/3 of leadership, meets the 1/3 leadership of this requirement. Compared to the global norm, let's look at a photo taken in the same year in 2019 in G20 Osaka Summit. Only 3 out of 39 world leaders were women. So I think for New Taipei, we have such a strong cabinet with so many women leaders. We should seize the opportunity to do more for New Taipei, to promote more gender-friendly policies in New Taipei when we have such a diverse and gender equal leadership. That's why we started also in 2019 in New Taipei, a campaign of SDGs, VLR, which means the local voluntary review. Please take a look at the short video.
I apologize. We're still not able to hear the voice from the video. So
I'll check again.
okay, thank you. And during the meantime, I apologize to interrupt again. There are so many attendees from Taiwan, so I'm going to speak a little bit Chinese. 请大家可以在下方的功能键，如果您用的是电脑版，
有听到吗？
在它的下方，
你们可不可以赶快 check 一下那边的？
在下方有一个字幕的地方，有一个小三角形，您点它的话，有一个这个显示字幕，那您就可以看到很多的中文，可以完全听得懂讲师的英文。麻烦大家，谢谢您。对，就是 CC 字幕这个地方旁边的小三角形，谢谢。OK， 那个姚上不好意思，就是麻烦您，或许我们可以先停止分享荧幕，停止分享画面之后，
好的，
然后重新分享画面，然后记得在分享前勾选音讯，谢谢您。
好的，分享声音，好的。
Yeah, we are going to invite our speaker to share it again, to stop sharing and start again.
停止分享，他说要先停止，对。然后再重新分享一次。这个，对，你要按分享吗？对。我们从头开始。Thank you for your patience. So in this short video that introduces everyone that how we have tried to make the VOR for New Taipei from inside out to full of ideas and realizations of sustainable development goals. And New Taipei is the first city in Taiwan to make such report, and also the 10th in the world. We are the only city that was invited by New York City in 2020 to join the New York City VOR Declaration. And New York is the first city in the world to publish a VOR of their own. But the questions come, why it is the Secretariat to make SDG sustainable VLR, voluntary local review? Why not Environmental Protection Agency, like most of the cities and most of the governments do? And what's the differences it make when the Secretariat is headed by a woman? I think to us, this report is not just a science report. It is a mission statement of our city, that New Taipei takes on sustainable development goal challenges, just like everyone else. And more importantly, is the impact to New Taipei city government internally, because in addition to scientific measurements, it is important to communicate and provide a sense of ownership to everyone. Promoting SDG to local communities and conservative public institutions is not easy. With the support of Mayor, our team has to identify, evaluate, and examine numerous government programs across 29 different departments and classify them according to the 17 goals. But we decided to use a bottom-up approach with a focus on community engagement, which is the key to our achievement. Because knowing they were striving towards the same goals as other international cities and organizations reinforced the commitment of our colleagues. Their participation in the VOR project empowered them to make a difference and help our city to receive recognition. And when we are processing and making this VOR report, we are trying to consciously work with the companies that are promoting circular economy. As you can see, these are the 4 companies in New Taipei that have become partners in making the VOR of New Taipei. They upcycle resources that are otherwise would be treated as waste. And all these business leaders, as you can see, are all women. And our new SDG logo is a Chinese characters of human. As you can see, side by side, hand in hand, 8 of these human characters hold hands. And the goal 11's color orange is in the center. And when we all move in harmony, it blooms like a flower. And of course, it's designed by an excellent female designer. But in New Taipei, it is not just me. As I mentioned, there are altogether 10 women leaders in different department agencies. For example, the economy departments and the indigenous departments, and as well as a culture department. The culture department commissioner, Mrs. Gong, she combines elements from mountains, from sea, from 5 or 6 other departments, creating a new travel brand, which is focusing on ideas of low carbon emissions and environmental protection through the efforts of the combining efforts of different departments. And lastly, I would like to, and this is the head of Department of Information. She's the one behind the Women Campaign and the video for New Taipei City. I would like to end my conclusion with a small story. And I want to show you even the smallest thing, if we take actions with the mindset of SDG, it could make magic. What do you think when SDG meet toilets? What would you do? New Taipei's answer is to make a public bathroom designed for inclusiveness. By redesigning the space and making it more user-friendly, we actually created the needs of more people in the community. So in the beginning, a lot of people think this is just for women when we are making a neutral gender bathroom. But no, at the end, everyone benefit from it. And initially, we faced with doubts and oppositions. We found ways to explain the reasons for change and ensure by making a gender-neutral bathroom and all-inclusive toilets, no one would be left behind. And this successful project led to change in mayor's policies. It became a benchmark now for other public restrooms in the city and turned into a new movement for public bathroom. More people joining. We now have the country. We have Taiwan's first menstrual diversity support services. As you can see on the photo, there's a small vending machine. This is the first one in Taiwan. with menstrual diversity support services, which provides a diverse range of free menstrual products to women. Anything you can think of, from the pads, from the cups, from all kinds of, from tampons, you have it. Why? When you are using this service, you also scan the QR code, and there will be educational programs serving also for knowledge, so that we will have a more environmental friendly environment for all women, because many people, many women actually have menstrual emergency, not only just by not having the products, also by not having the knowledge or not having a friendly environment for them. So it broke through the hierarchical boundaries, connecting our visitors, connecting families, connecting cleaning staff, all together in the making of this public bathroom. We are showing policymakers the importance of gender-friendly facilities. It helped people embrace the SDGs and understand how these goals are related to them as individuals. More importantly, the people involved can see how this initiative, how these actions help them in community. And this is what keeps me going and keeps New Taipei going. I will conclude, because we are all women. You must be like me, deeply motivated by the values of inclusiveness and gender equality. In the Asian context, where hierarchy is often imposed on work environment, in my experience, action is the best way to break the boundary. Only through actions, starting from the basic, we are possible to make what believes and make it into impact. The most important thing is, I hope everyone would download New Taipei City's VRR and to join us together in our April's Earth Day Forum. But my time is up. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope we can all have a very successful forum today. Thank you. Back to Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I believe all the attendees are inspired by Ms. Chin-Yu Yao and your stories. You're so powerful and just like a people of action. Thank you for your sharing today. And apologize, I'm also very proud. I'm the New Taipei City citizen. Thank you for your effort to us. Thanks a lot. Okay, now I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Actually, our next speaker is Belinda Hazel. She's going to share with us how we farm today, why we need to change, and also she's going to empower people to achieve SDGs. Miss Belinda, now the stage is all yours. Please.
Thank you, Angie. And thank you very much for the invitation. I've been really looking forward to participating today. I'm coming to you from Tasmania, which is a small island south of the main continent of Australia. So, Wendy, I'm just looking to share my screen if I can.
Okay. You're going to share your screen with us, or we tech team take over it?
You may. I had some trouble last time when we looked at this, and I'm trying to share. And here we'll try this now.
Great. Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Great.
Oh, that's very
yes.
good. Right.
Yeah.
I'll remove that. And so, can you see the whole screen, or just plus the sidebar?
Plus the sidebar now.
Right.
Probably you can put a full screen at the right down.
I'll just try and move this. I am having some trouble here, sorry. So I'm trying, there we are. Thank you. So if everybody can see my full screen, And yes, thank you to Wendy. I'm going to be talking from an Australian perspective on how we can transform the how and why of farming. I'm representing Tasmanian Women in Agriculture. I'm the Emeritus Chair of this organisation, and we were founded in 1994. And the reason that we were founded was because women in Australia, and I think more broadly across the globe, are what I believe are invisible farmers. We're not recognised in a lot of ways across the country and across the globe for what we do. And 80% of women across the globe are responsible for small and medium farming and responsible for the majority of food that we all as consumers enjoy. So it's very important that we highlight the role of women in farming and the environment more broadly. In Australia, we were classed as invisible farmers. And the reason for that is in 1900, when Australian Foundation was formed, they wanted more women to move into the interior of the country to do farming. But they didn't want the women in particular to see how hard that farming was going to be. We're a very dry continent. We're a very large country. And so a lot of those women would be working very hard in harsh environments and removed away from their families. So they didn't want any visual representation of women working on farms, and they didn't want a lot of information coming into the cities about women on farms. So that information was lost or not recorded. And we were removed from government statistics. So we weren't accounted for in any way. So any of the programs that were established in those early years, women weren't included in that. And it wasn't until 1994 that our Australian Bureau of Statistics started recording women as working in agriculture. In fact, prior to 1994, all that was recorded in Australian statistics, if you were a woman farmer, we were classed as a sleeping partner and non-productive, which is a very harsh term, and that since has changed. In Tasmania, where I've highlighted in the red on the map, we're only a population of 500,000 people. We're a small island, but we cater for a lot of Australia's beautiful food and produce. We're recognised for high quality produce and we contribute significantly. But at the time in 1994, there was only 2 photographs of women working on the farm, and they were women in the background. So they may have actively contributed to working on the farm, but they weren't valued for what they did. And so in 1994, Tasmanian Women in Agriculture as a volunteer organisation was formed. And we were formed because really women on farms, we'd had enough about being invisible and we wanted to make a change. So this is where it started. In a small dairy area in the northeast of Tasmania, a group of 200 women got together. We called it a farm gathering. And we sat down together and worked out how are we going to raise our profile? What things are we going to do? How are we going to engage with government and the farming community and business community more broadly to raise the profile of women working on farms? You can see down the bottom of the screen on the left-hand side, this is one of the only images that the government had of women working on a farm, and this is in a poppy field. Since then, we have invested in developing information that's available to the public about what women on farms do, how we work side by side, running a professional business, and what we do contributing to our rural communities. At the end of the day, for me, it doesn't matter where we sit across the globe with farming. Rural communities need farmers as well as farms. And if we don't look after our women on farms, then that community slowly dies. So now, Tasmanian Women in Agriculture, we have over 300 paid members. For a small island, that is a big organisation for us. We have over 2,000 women in our network. So we use social media as a powerful tool to be able to connect women that mightn't necessarily want to have direct involvement with the organisation, but want to be connected to what we do and provide information and have access to information. So it's very important for our women to be connected and empowered and supported in the role that they do. We participate in a National Rural Women's Award. This provides the winner in Tasmania with a bursary of $10,000 to be able to explore a project that will help them in their business. And our organisation also provides up to $5,000 for 4 other women to be able to do that same thing, be able to develop a project that will help them and the community that they work in to advance where they are. We also offer a range of scholarships that will provide education opportunities and also other on-ground learning opportunities to help them in their farming enterprises so that they can learn more about the crops and the animals that they grow and how on their small farms they can make the best out of the land and environment that they are in. We offer farm tours. We like our farm tours. It gives us the opportunity to work together as a group where we can go and have a look and see what other women and other business enterprises are doing to achieve innovation with the farming that they do. And we don't limit this to just women. We also have men come along as well because it's very important that we work together to achieve our goals. Our training and upskilling is very important. And we also are very connected with outreach. We know a lot of our women are working in isolated areas or in isolation in the spaces that they're in. So it's very important that we have outreach to make sure that they are healthy in the spaces that they are working. So that's a little bit about Tasmanian Women in Agriculture. I'm going to move more broadly now into why food and agriculture matters with the Sustainability Development Goals. In all 17, somewhere in there is connected food and agriculture. If we don't have that, we don't thrive. And you can see by this slide that we know by 2050, the world is going to have to feed 10 billion people. But unfortunately, with farming, not only in Australia, but more broadly, 40% of that food is wasted before it arrives at your dinner table. And this is because of lack of access to technology or lack of access to good supply chains to get that food to where it needs to go. We have to increase our food production by 70%. And we also need to make sure that we are in making sure our biosecurity, the environment where we grow our food, is healthy. If we don't have good, healthy soils, then we fail to thrive. In Australia, our goal is by 2030 to have a $100 billion agricultural industry. We will be focusing on biosecurity, the importance of that. Stewardship, environmental stewardship. For the first time in Australia, farmers will be paid to look after the environmental space that they enjoy, to make sure that that space that they're growing food in is healthy for the long term, not just now. We're also looking at fairer and resilient supply chains. That means that farmers get paid for the crops that they grow. At the moment in Australia, we have a low-cost food model, which means as consumers, we pay the cheapest price we can for our food, but the farmer doesn't receive the true value for the cost that it takes to produce that food. And I think that's the same across the globe as well. So we need to make sure we have a model that supports farmers for the long term. And human capital is important. Because of the global pandemic, we've found that we haven't had more people coming into Australia to help us produce our crops. to harvest our crops. And so there's been a lot of product that's been grown. So we've had the resources to grow that product, but we haven't been able to harvest it because we don't have enough people to pick or harvest those crops. And that is an issue. In Tasmania, we have a goal to have a 10 billion industry by 2050. For the first time, we've surpassed the $2 billion mark, but we have a long, long way to go to sustain our industry here in Tasmania to reach that $10 billion goal. So what are our impacts in Australia? Across our sectors, there's a range of sectors that are more sophisticated than others. Horticulture is a very sophisticated sector. We have 42 crop types that have peak industry bodies. We also have the dairy industry, the grains, the livestock industry, and they've all focused on sustainable development goals and what the priorities are with those goals. And you can see with this slide here where some of the priorities are depending on the industry sector that you are in. I primarily work in the horticulture sector. So you can see with some of those priorities around water and resource management, for us that is critical for us to be able to meet those targets that the government has set, but also the sustainable development goals. Profitability and productivity is also a key one. If we don't have farmers, as I mentioned earlier, in the community that are able to thrive, then that local community will slowly die. We need to make sure that our soil, nutrient and pest management is well managed. And as you can see with these slides and this graph, some of the areas that I think are very important are lower on the priority, and we need to change this to make sure that we reach our sustainable development goals. Areas around soil and nutrient health, land degradation, and carbon and greenhouse gas emissions. So in Australia, we've set a target for carbon neutral or zero greenhouse gas emissions around 2030. We have a long, long way to go to be able to reach that target. For Tasmanian women in agriculture, we're about to do a training program for our women farmers so that they can understand what carbon accounting is, what it means to them, and how they can apply to the government to get some environmental funding to be able to improve the environment on their farm. And these are the challenges here in Australia for our agriculture and primary industry sector more broadly. Water use and water quality. We are the driest continent on Earth. We have to be able to manage our water use and our water quality. Otherwise, our food won't be nutritious and our communities, again, will fail to thrive. And it is also an opportunity in Australia as well. In Tasmania, we are a small island, but 15 out of the last 20 water development projects across Australia have been in Tasmania. We are really going well ahead in what we do. You can see some other areas I've talked about around labour shortages and plunging diversity. And the reason why we need to change is to ensure our food and nutrition security and the health and well-being of communities. And as consumers, our demands are changing. We're changing from buying something at the cheapest price to buying something that's been produced environmentally sustainably and is safe to eat. So everything that we do as farmers is having to work to meet these values. And how do we empower our women farmers to change and be able to meet those values? We need to value the role of women in farming. We need to make sure that they're visible. We need to make sure that in Australia and more broadly that policy shifts change so that farmers get recognised at the farm gate for the true value of what it costs to be able to produce that food so that they can invest back in farming. Tasmania Women in Agriculture is investing in training to empower women to be able to meet sustainable development goals. We need to make sure that those women have access to training in different ways. And it could be how they look after their animals, how they sow their crops, more broadly through how they can access technology and use technology, because technology is an enabler. It means that you work smarter and not harder. And even for us here in Australia, again, a big continent, and even in Tasmania, we do have trouble accessing technology through our networks. This has to improve so that we can make sure that our women farmers thrive and we're able to support our local communities. We are developing connections and learning from each other, and this is really important, particularly around how we do our production, the decisions we make about what crops we grow. And it's really important that we learn through our leaders how they farm and why they farm. And telling their stories is increasingly important because consumers, as they move more into an urban space, are losing connection with how their food is grown. They have a lack of understanding of what it takes. And what we need to do as farmers is be more brave about telling our stories so that we can address social licence issues. We can explain how we farm and why we farm so that consumers can understand what it takes to produce the food, and they'll make better purchasing decisions and also ensure that those local communities thrive, that we make sure that we have shorter and fairer supply chains for women farmers to be able to directly benefit. This is Tasmanian Women in Agriculture today. We're very visible, we're out there to empower women, and we're very proud about the stories that we tell about how we farm and why we farm. And that's ensuring that consumers are more and more excited about connecting with their local farmers to enjoy the food that they produce. And that means that we have a sustainable and healthy and nutritious food supplying our communities so they will thrive for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. Thank you for your sharing, and the picture on the picture actually we saw from the last page is amazing. That is so good. Thank you for your sharing. And I think many attendees have some questions, and please put your questions on the chat board. We are going to come back later for the Q&A session in the end. Now let me introduce the next speaker, Miss Li Yi Chen. She's belong to Cixin Organic Agriculture Foundation. And we know she's very famous in Taiwan, and people call her the Queen of Planting Trees. That's amazing, right? Miss Li Yi Chen, the stage is all yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Li Yi Chen. I'm from Cixin Organic Agriculture Foundation. My topic is from the Great Wall of Planting Trees to demonstrate the glory of Asian female. Taiwan is also wisdom. Taiwan is also facing the global environmental issues to solve the problems. Our organization mission is to protect the environment through tree planting, environmental friendly farming, vegan and plastic-free actions in hope to create a world of mutual well-being and prosperity with other creatures. This is inspired by my organization leader, Ms. Zhen Lu. Since we are surrounded by sea, to against soil erosion from typhoon and the sea level rise, forests along coast areas serve as windbreaks to protect from salt spray, prevent soil erosion, and fix the sand. Coast forests, however, are facing fast fragmentation. The speed of loss is faster than its restoration because of limited government budget and the environmental stresses of planting trees along the shore. Therefore, we initiated a coastal reforestation project. Our reason was based on philosophy from our founder, late Venerable Ri Chang. If this is something that needs to be done and no one is taking action, then we should do it. Sometimes we have to do hard things because it is the right things to do. In the year 2015, I claimed Taixi Sea Park located in central Taiwan on behalf of my organization. The area suffered a severe subsidence. It was not only 2 meters below sea level, but also victim to soil salinization. The ground was flooded during high tide and would only be exposed again once the waters had subsided. The precipitation there was only half that of Taiwan's average, and the winter winds were so strong that I could barely stand. Sand temperatures could exceed 70 degrees Celsius in summer, which means it was absolutely unsuited for tree planting. After realizing the difficulties of growing trees, I felt very hopeless and cried because I was not professional enough to overcome the problems at that time. To encourage myself, the first action I took was to watch this movie, Wild from Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail. It describes a woman's journey through the Pacific Crest Trail, which is 1,100 miles long. In Chinese, it means only courage left, which touched my real feeling. Then, luckily, one of my good friends, Mr. Zhang, he is an ecological engineer, had ideas and was willing to help us to improve this area through ecological engineering. Even though we had a very limited budget, the engineer had made an eco pond for collecting rainwater and desalinate the surrounding soil. On the other hand, we learned professional skills from experts of Taiwan Forest Research Institute. Moreover, we received intensive training and the formal test from International Society of Arboriculture, US. Then I became a certified arborist. Virtual always has neighbors. It is never alone. As trees were planted, business started to sponsor us and participate tree planting activities in second year. Local people also joined us. Miracles happen to those who believe after the environment was improved, as well as the selection of suitable plants. 90% of the saplings survived and grew well. Since the soils were desalinated, trees can finally develop well. Within 2 years, my team turned the dry, barren land into a green pasture, one step at a time. Furthermore, in year 2017, Toyota Taiwan invited us to initiate a project by one car, plant one tree. Their goal was 100,000 trees at least planted along coastal area each year. To overcome the environmental stresses, such as drought and the high stand temperature of planting in coastal area, my team worked together with Renzhou Social Enterprise. Their CEO is also a female, Miss Justine Wang, to invent the water storing tree planter. The tree planter, made of recycled paper, can store water and slowly introduce water through strings using capillary action to the roots of seedlings. Even during drought, tree planter can continuously supply water to 2 trees in a month. Therefore, the invention allows us afforestation in dry area and still obtain high survival and growth rate. The area filming shows you how we use tree planter in dry area. We use about 6,000 planter in this dry area. Because of the successful cooperation with Toyota Taiwan, more and more businesses are aware of this issue and participate in coastal reforestation in Taiwan. From year 2015 to 21, we have planted over 712,000 trees in 14 counties, including 52 business sponsors. Over 11,000 employees joined the tree planting activities, and the 13 public sectors provide the land. The coast of our forests reintroduced over 30 native species of trees, and the green wall to protect our coast is formed. The influence is like a snowball effect. For the tree planter, the invention stood out from 8,000 candidates of 24 countries and won a special prize environmental sustainability in Golden Pin Design Award. I received the Come Forward Award Taiwan in year 2018 because of the contribution to coastal afforestation. After the award, there have been 13 mainstream media in Taiwan that have reported over 70 news reports or radio works of our stories. We were also interviewed by a Singapore media. I never stop improving our professionals. There are 7 ISA certified arborists in our tree planting team. Inspired by our initiatives, TSMC, the largest company in Taiwan, has started their coastal afforestation project. They consulted us about the related techniques and adopt our tree planter invention. There are examples of mass media reports. I share the stories and achievements in Bless and Wisdom Business Leader Camps. Total attendees are over 10,000 from various companies and public agencies, then successfully raising awareness about these issues after the camps. In year 2018, I participated in Trillion Trees campaign with 400 tree planting organizations in the world, and represented my organization to vote to plant 1 billion trees within 25 years. My story was included as textbook materials in year 2020. The content includes the stories of coastal afforestation and the vow of plant 1 billion trees. Because of the vow to plant 1 billion trees, I prepare to afforest not just in Taiwan, but abroad as well, such as Mongolia. When the sand dust occurs in Gobi Desert, it only takes 3 days to affect East Asia and 10 days to California, USA. Therefore, the result of tree planting there will directly help our hometown and even help the planet. In conclusion, just like our leaders, Ms. Zheng Ru's words, through tree planting, people learn to care for others, living things, and the environment. This will have a positive influence on those around us and eventually become a powerful for change. So since I have some minutes left, I would like to show you a short video, which you can see the video to give you a brief view about how we work on the project.
海岸造林它的困难度最大的问题就是先天不良，有强风、有灰沙，还有高的盐分、干燥、高温。我们要让有生命、有树的精灵存在，几乎是不可能的工作了。
困难不是永远都是困难，你只要想办法去解决它，它就会渐渐改善。
其实海岸造林真的是可行，只要我们愿意做，只要有毅力，只要有方法，其实可行。
Okay, thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Actually, I'm so touched by the last video we saw because we are living in an island. Taiwan is surrounded by ocean, by sea. So it is so amazing. You're planting so many trees and in this incredible, how to say, the project in very difficult environment. Thank you for your great work to the world. Thank you so very much. Now we are going to welcome the last speaker today, Luisa Bruna Caprotti. I hope I pronounced correct. She's going to share with us the environment protection and sustainability, and to be more specifically on ICT. I think Luisa probably will be a very tired person, the speakers, because now probably already 2 a.m. now in your area. Apologize for that. Now, Luisa, the stage is all yours, please.
Thank you very much indeed, and good morning for you, good night for me, because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm so very honored to be with you this evening, and thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much, Mei Lu, for inviting me. So what I'm going to talk about this evening, I'm sorry, I try to enlarge my screen, but it's very difficult because I'm using Mac, you see. So if you don't mind, I leave it there. So what I'm talking about this evening is women leader innovation. We are talking about ICT. So I have some question and some answer as well. What is the role, wait a second. What is the role of ICT in women empowerment? Information and communication technology empower women in various areas like social, educational, personal, psychological, political, technological, and economical. In the recent past, ICTs have been added to women and gender equality debate. How can we use technology to empower women? Many authors agree that improved access to ICTs can assist in providing women with employment resources and opportunities. Improved access to ICTs could narrow the gender wage gap, assist in making education and health information more accessible, contribute to the end of violence against women, and lead to women's empowerment. How can you use ICT to promote gender equality? Programs through partnerships can help realize the opportunities ICT can offer by boosting skilling, equipping women with digital devices, and providing training that helps women take their respective communities how to make the most of these tools. How does gender contribute to digital divide? Why the gender gap in digital skills is evident across regional boundaries and income levels. It is more severe with women who are older, less educated, poor, or living in rural areas and developing countries, making women much less likely to graduate in any field of STEM compared to their male counterpart. Why is gender diversity important in ICT? ICT enable women to play an active role in development support and dissemination networks. They also provide women with access to new jobs and professions, to participation in interactive learning and teleinformation initiatives, and to knowledge and information for empowerment and for improving their lives. What impact has ICT had on women's workload? Access to ICT can enable women to gain a strong voice in their communities, the government, and at the global level. ICT also offers women flexibility in time to space and can be of particular value to women who face social isolation, including many women in developing countries. What is ICT for sustainable development? The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development recognized that the spread of information and communication technology and global interconnectedness has great potential to accelerate human progress, to bridge the digital divide, and to develop knowledge societies, and thus scientific and technological innovation. Circular Economy Manifesto. I will explain after this short video what is our manifesto. I mean, my manifesto and my company manifesto. Please let me show you a very short video on how me and my company cope with the new challenges of sustainability and the reuse economy. Oh, sorry. Circular economy and sustainability, this is our aims, and to bring a new approach of the key concept of circular economy and sustainability by combining the scientific disciplines of economy, management, engineering, technology, environment, and society. As circular economy is necessary today to promote the goals of sustainable development, these scientific areas are not independent to each other. By their relations, interaction, and synergy exist and should be further developed and studied. Interdisciplinary approaches and multiple connections between these scientific areas are required not only to reach the sustainability goals, but also to solve diverse environmental problems, expand technological limits, and overcome potential economic disturbances. This approach is expressed with new policies, command and control, market-based instrument, and circular public procurements, technological suggestions, example, technical cycle solution, environmental engineering technology, example, waste management, water recycle, wastewater treatment and reuse, renewable energy, circular business models, circular innovation, circular management solutions, consumer behavior in circular economy, new circular economy products, labels, and social acceptance in circular economy. What we do? We recycle all spare parts, such as, for instance, motherboards, with artists. They produce in frames beautiful art installation. Then we organize charity auctions. Or just to say to stay in ICT fields, we produce sustainable website and application with specific colors and more efficient database. We sign this manifesto. Clean, the services we provide and services we use will be powered by renewable energy. Efficient, the products and services we provide will use the least amount of energy and material resources possible. Open, the products and services we provide will be accessible, allow for open exchange of information, and allow users to control their data. Honest, the products and services we provide will not mislead or exploit users in their design or content. Regenerative, the products and services we provide will support an economy that nourishes people and planet. Resilient, the products and services we provide will function in the times and places where people need them most. We want to introduce a novel approach of circular economy and sustainability as two interconnected and complementary concepts that form a new multi-dimensional concept. But back to our manifesto. Our manifesto offers a multidisciplinary knowledge base comprising a broad range of disciplines and solutions. It suggests a 3 levels analysis of circular economy and sustainability and the study of the interrelation. We have the micro level, firm level engineering, meso level industrial ecology, and micro level general politics and green and sustainable entrepreneurship. It suggests a new scientific dialogue and research agenda to strengthen the nexus between engineering, natural sciences with the economic, management and social sciences to solve circular economy and sustainability issues. It promotes innovation processes from technological solutions and economic, social, and environmental solutions to the context of circular economy and sustainability. It proposes a deep study of the social dimension of circular economy. Oh, I'm sorry. And this is me. Stop sharing. And this is me. And talking about sustainability, in ICT field is not easy at all. So we are trying to be more as much sustainable as possible, but we still use a lot of power and energy. But we think that in our future we try to be more sustainable. But at the moment, it's very difficult to say that a data center is feed just for solar panel. It is impossible. So I'm very honest. So we use solar panel and power, of course. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Luisa. Now I'm going to, first of all, I apologize for your time and also your sharing. And it's super surprised you stopped sharing your video and we can focus on you, only you. That is impressive. Okay, now we are going to the questionnaire and the answer session. I'm going to focus all the speakers together. Hold on for a minute. I'm going to, focus all of you, because probably you will answer some questions. So, okay, for the speakers now, all on the screen. If anyone have any question, that would be great. You can raise your hands. But before anyone raise any question, I want to let all the speakers know the feedback from the chat board. To Luisa, it's actually from Blinda. She said, this is valuable work. I really like the circle economy approach and how waste is not a waste, but a product that finds a new opportunity to be used. That is from Blinda to you, Luisa. Hope you like it. Apologize if you want to answer. If you want the feedback, please open your microphone.
Yes, this is my microphone. Sorry, say it again, the answer, sorry, because I was doing something on my video, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's actually from Blinda. This is valuable work. I really like the circle economy approach and how waste is not waste, but a product that finds a new opportunity to be used. That is from Blinda to you, Luisa. Hope you like it.
Of course, I like it. So I really appreciate all your messages on the chat box, because I noticed that you like my my video. Yes, I think that it expresses very well what we do, and especially what we try to do, because it's not easy, as I told before, it's not easy in our field to be so sustainable. But we try to be sustainable, especially with spare parts, for instance. So we have a lot of spare parts because we try to have the modern model of servers in our data center. And so the very old one, we give all the inside to some artists, but the old one, and if they are still working, we give it to school. So to school and even to some people who, that are in difficulties. So people that are addicted to drugs, for instance. So we give them we give this service as a gift, of course. So and so is a kind of recycling, I think.
Yeah, that is so great idea, and also very great experience. Thank you, Lisa. And to Miss Jin Yu Yao, I saw some the question from the chat board from In May. She left a message like, "This is a very touching speech. I would like to know, Director Yao, how you persuade your supervisor to support your project. Do you want to share with us, Miss Jin Yu Yao?"
Yes, as mayor, thank you so much. And I would like to echo Luisa's presentation in that how do we encourage and to promote more circular economy. And for example, in New Taipei, we are the hub of Asia's ICT industry. So it is very important that while we recognize the economy driven by ICT, we also can think about the waste problem they produce. And back to getting support from mayors. Mayor support is critical to the success of the SDG campaign in New Taipei. And to get his support, it's very important that we align the SDGs goals with the city's policy that mayor has pledged to all the citizens. So first is the alignment. And we have actually used 3 to 4 months to align all the policies the mayor is promoting with 17 goals of SDGs. And we found a high percentage of alignment. Then the second question is how to introduce something that sounds new to mayor, but actually is something that he's already promoting. So I think the most important thing is trying to introduce a new idea to the leaders that this is something he is already doing. And very important is to tell him the impact that we may get by promoting this policy. So we have told the mayor that there are 2 groups would otherwise not know New Taipei if we didn't promote SDGs. One, the international society. If we do not talk about sustainable developments, we will be left behind by all the important discussions nowadays. We're going to be talking about this until 2030. So one, if you don't talk about that, the big city will not know. There is a huge important city in Taiwan with 4 million population that are working on the same goals as everyone else. So that's number 1. 2, you are not gonna be talking to the young generation because SDG is so popular among young people. And this is the topic for them, not for us. So I still remember in the first meeting, we introduced this idea to mayor. I brought with me 2 young individuals. They are both New Taipei City citizens, and they later become the core planners and strategists for partnership with New Taipei City. 1 female, 1 male, and they come with me together to tell mayor why we need to do this. And I think maybe by luck, we get the top-down support. But more importantly, 3, to follow up. Did we get the impact as we expected? Within the 6 months when we, after we made the SDG VLR, we get immense support from international city partners. And that's why I pledge to continue our participation in SDG campaign to show my support to all the cities that may be on the path, just like New Taipei. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Director Yao. Personally, I think I like our current mayor now, but I think you are even better. And thanks for giving the focus on the young generation. I think their voice need to be heard. And I keep seeing Blinda is knocking her head. So I think she also agree about what you said. Thank you for your sharing. Thanks a lot. And we also saw many feedback to Miss Li Yi Chen. That's from Stella. She mentioned about thank you, Li Yi, for sharing with us such a touching story of tree planting. It takes a tremendous courage, commitment, and perseverance to achieve an eco-friendly miracle. Yeah, it is actually a miracle. We appreciate your hard work, and I believe all Taiwan will benefit from it. So, Ms. Li Yi Chen, do you want to encourage us a little bit more to planting the trees?
Yes.
Yes, thank you for your respondents. Since forest is so important for the planet, for the Earth, and we lose a lot of forests each year, which is about 10 billion trees each year we lost. So we needed to plant more trees to help the climate change, to decrease and slow down the climate or the temperature rise for the whole world. So I would like to encourage everybody plant trees in your country, in your home, and work together for the whole Earth. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I think I apologize. We only have 3 minutes left. So Blinda, here are some feedback to you, but I only read one. It's from actually another speaker, Qingyu Yao. Thanks, Blinda. The history of women as invisible farmers need to be known by more people. Thank you for your sharing. You want to give us like 2 minutes feedback?
Thank you, Qingyu, and thank you to the other speakers. Really inspirational to hear. It's really important that wherever we are, in whichever country that we empower women in their different roles. And certainly with food and agriculture, this is very important. Generally, the women are isolated. They're in remote and regional areas, and so they can be vulnerable in the work they do. So the more that we can raise the profile of women working in rural industries, the more opportunities they have around education, around training, the ability to be able to grow in self-esteem, which then ensures that they're able to do their work in a better way, in a smarter way, so they're not working hard. And that means that for us as a community, it means more broadly that we have a healthy community, that we have strong farmers, strong rural areas, strong environments, and we all benefit from that. So whilst women are in rural industries, can be invisible farmers, we all have a role to get to know our farmers and what they do, and talk about what they do and enjoy the produce that they provide. So thank you for the question, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about what my Tasmanian women in agriculture do.
Thank you, Blinda. And now is almost our closing time, but I would like to invite Ms. Mei Lu to have the closing remarks. And everybody, please stay here. After Ms. Mei Lu's closing remark, we're going to take a group picture, so don't miss that. Now, Ms. Mei Lu, the stage is all yours, please.
Sorry about that. I would like to close this forum by thanking all for your participation. Thank Louisa in Europe, Belinda in Australia, and Dr. Director Yao and Dr. Chen in Taiwan. It's very impressive how your contributions have been changing the world in a positive way. Thank you all for your inspiring sharing. As we know, we have only one Mother of Earth, the only place we live. Let's work together for a healthy planet for generations to come. Once again, thank you all for your efforts and participation. Deeply appreciated. Have a great day. Thank you.
I think not only have a great day, but also have a good sleep to Luisa. No matter what, we're going to have the group picture. Please turn on your camera. And I suggest, because we are all women leaders and we want to give us the biggest support. So maybe a good heart, the big heart, like this or like this, whatever. The big heart is our symbol today. Let's take a group picture together. No matter what, yeah, great. So our tech team, can you help to take the picture? Okay, okay. 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay, we're going to take another one because I saw so many people on the chat board give us a thumb up. So let's give a thumb up for the second picture. 3, 2, 1. Great. And the last one, it's really the last one. We're going to say goodbye to each other. So we will like this, a goodbye. See you next time. Thank you for your attending today. 3, 2, 1. Great. Thank you so very much for your attending. Thank you. Good day and good night. See you next time.
Good night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Belinda, we actually also had a session with a representative from Tasmania in APEC a few months ago.
Okay.
It's Asia Pacific Economy Conference.
Terrific.
We really love Tasmania's international participation. I think we'll follow up with you,
Thank you.
on that front. We have a Earth Day forum. We have an Earth Day forum in April. We invite you to join us. Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. 谢谢 May. Thank you, May.